Valerie Dekimpe's been keeping a close eye on the situation on the ground in Ukraine. She joins me on the set now for more. Valerie, let's start with Kyiv, where Russian forces continue their shelling.
Right. So before we begin, I mean, the latest we are hearing, Jeannie, is that the mayor of Kyiv has also announced a 36-hour curfew in the capital starting tonight at 8 p.m. Till 7 a.m. Thursday morning. Civilians will only be allowed to leave their homes to take shelter in bunkers. But for now, as you mentioned, shelling in the capital. Two large explosions were heard this morning. As you said, a massive fire broke out in a 15-story building. For now, 2 people dead. 35 people have been rescued, but the death toll could go up. And you can see behind me different neighborhoods of the capital, Kyiv, within the city center of the capital. And so the building where we heard those explosions was located in the Sviatonshin neighborhood that's west of the capital. There have also been explosions in Podil, that's also west of the capital, within the city limits of Kyiv, and also explosions reported in Darnitsia, that's across the river there. And if you remember, Jeannie, just yesterday, also shelling took place in Obolon, so that's further north. So again, you can see how the shelling is getting closer and closer to the heart of the capital, Kyiv. The presidential palace is just located in this area in the middle of the capital. But again, it's important to emphasize, though, that Russian troops, tanks have not yet entered the capital. Let me show you another map of Kyiv and its surroundings, the outskirts of the capital. And the strategy here is essentially to encircle the city from the west, the northwest, and also the east in Brovary. And again, no major ground offensives so far in the last 24 hours in this area. Bucha, Irpin, and Brovary remain disputed cities in red and yellow. And the fighting continues again in this area. And we heard, the latest we are hearing is that Russian troops, they try to establish a pontoon bridge in Irpin over the Irpin River in order to continue advancing towards the capital.
Now, you were focusing there on the situation in Kyiv, saying those Russian troops are stalled outside Kyiv. What about the rest of the country? Have Russian troops made more progress there?
They have also stalled overall in the country, with one exception, perhaps the south of the country, and I'll get to that later. But let me start first with the eastern front around Kharkiv and the Donbass. So Ukrainian forces have repelled several Russian attacks around Kharkiv, around Izum, further south of Kharkiv. And we know that Russian forces did not conduct any major ground operations in the last 24 hours in this area, but the city, though, Kharkiv, has been continuously shelled overnight. 7 people were killed as well overnight in Kharkiv. And the strategy here in this area is to essentially bypass Kharkiv and head south towards Zaporizhia. And the latest we're hearing as well, Jeannie, around Dnipro, the city airport has been shelled. The governor there describing massive destruction. The runway has been destroyed as well. Further south, Kherson, you mentioned Russian forces claiming that they have full control of the Kherson region. Not too far from Kherson, further east in the Donbass, we also know, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense, that Russian forces have advanced 15 to 17 kilometers in this area. But again, according to the Russians, and further south, the southwest of the country, again, I was mentioning Kherson, but Mykolaiv is also an important and strategic city. For the past week, really, they have been trying to bypass the city of Mykolaiv, heading towards Odessa. And we heard just this morning from the governor of Mykolaiv that the situation is calmer compared to previous days. We know that 80 people were wounded in several attacks in Mykolaiv just yesterday.
Okay, Valerie, thanks for that. France 24's Valerie Dekimpe.